Hi, everyone. My name is Madeline Friend. I'm the VP of Customer Success at Centrical. With me today is one of our customers who won the Innovator Award at this year's annual Customer Select Awards. This award recognizes the organization that has embraced a bold and forward-thinking vision, leveraging our platform in creative ways to achieve outstanding results. Today, we're going to talk about what's so special about their program and why they earned this reward. Before we get into it, I'm going to ask Natasha and Dan to share a little bit about themselves, their company, their roles, and the area of their business that they have implemented Centrical in. So Dan, let's start with you.
Hi, my name is Dan Heagney. I am a senior manager with IHG's operations team. I've been with the IHG Climb project since day one and am best known as its biggest cheerleader.
That is true. That is very true. Natasha.
Hi, my name is Natasha Scott. I am Senior Vice President of the Americas Revenue Management and Commercial Teams. IHG Hotels Resorts is one of the leading hotel companies in the world. We have over 19 brands and 6,500 hotels in over 100 countries. And we have more than 375,000 colleagues around the world in our corporate offices and hotels. Within the Americas organization, our performance strategy team is focused on helping hotels drive performance in key areas that impact the guest and revenue experience. We work closely with our field support teams and general managers by providing tools, resources, and best practices to increase overall guest satisfaction at all of our IHG branded hotels.
Fantastic. And I am a loyal customer, as Dan knows. Kimpton, always my favorite.
One of my favorites as well.
Excellent. All right, so my first question is, what brought IHG to Centrical? What was your pain point or problem that you were trying to address?
So back in 2022, we introduced a transformed loyalty program called IHG One Rewards. And since then, we've been working with hotels around the world to make sure that they're delivering the program and its benefits to members, as well as enrolling new members. IHG One Rewards members are our most profitable and valuable guests. They're loyal to our brands, and they help to drive revenue to our hotels with each of their repeat stays. So we measure loyalty in two different ways. One, through loyalty recognition, which is, do we recognize the members when they're on their stay, and for participation in the program? And then another way that we measure loyalty delivery on property is enrollment efficiency. And that means how many percent of the guests that are walking in the door are we able to convert into our wonderful IHG One Rewards program. So with that transformed program, we wanted to make sure that hotels were delivering the program successfully. And, honestly, kind of post-pandemic, we were still struggling with retaining and attracting talent to our hotels. And so we saw a lot of turnover and inconsistency in how the loyalty program was being delivered. So we really wanted to step change performance heading into 2024 and make sure that we were delivering the program, day in and day out at our branded hotels. And we really wanted to find a new way to engage with our frontline team members in a new and interactive way. We wanted them something that was simple for them to understand the loyalty program, understand how it impacted them, as well as making sure that the information that we were providing to them was sustained so that they could consistently deliver an exceptional loyalty experience on property. So this is where we kind of came up with the idea to gamify how hotels learn more about the program. We wanted it to be a platform that was easy to use, interactive, and our hotels absolutely love competition. And so we thought that would be kind of a unique way to engage our hotels. And last but not least, we wanted to make sure it was super easy and a click of a button. Our hotels and team members are busy, with a number of different things on property. And so we wanted to make sure it was as simple as possible to keep them engaged and informed.
Got it. So empowering your frontline employees, the people who are greeting your guests on day in and day out, to create this really wonderful experience for customers, people who are staying at IHG properties.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. All right, let's dig a little deeper into how you solved this challenge. As a winner of the Innovator Award, describe in a few words your strategy or initiative you undertook with Centrical to tackle the challenge. What were the objectives and what was the unique approach you took? Dan, do you want to tackle this one?
Yeah, love to. So with the relaunch of IHG One Rewards, that was new, fresh, and exciting. And we needed a new, fresh, and exciting way of bringing that to hotels. Um, our main way of communicating with hotels is with the GMs through biweekly hotel bulletins and just regular communications. But as a former GM myself, I know that's a lot of pressure to put on a single person to relay a message about performance, about metrics, about required trainings. It's a lot of pressure. And so our key here was that we wanted to find a way to get to the frontline team member. As a GM, I always believed at every hotel, there was always that one person at the hotel who maybe just worked the front desk 7 to 3, but they always were the hub of knowledge. They were always the big drivers of performance at the hotel, but didn't always have access to the resources that they needed to truly succeed. And so the key was unlocking that for them. So with that, we built IHG Climb as a way of communicating with that person, with those people on property who are driven and ambitious and want to do better. And we were super surprised with how the hotels and those team members took the program and drove the performance themselves. I personally was surprised by how little communications we actually needed to do throughout the life of the program, because the hotel colleagues were doing it themselves. They were challenging each other to do the missions, to rise to the top of the leaderboards, and to drive their performance. One of my favorite stories is we have a Kimpton who created a Climb crown that they would give to every team member who hit the top of the leaderboard every week. And it was a cool and unique way of embracing the platform that we had nothing to do with, but that was the entire point. The entire point was to talk to that one person on property that was going to drive performance, and that's exactly what we did.
I love that story. I also think you're underestimating the level of commitment and work that you put into this up front to get people excited about that, because they heard from you, they heard from senior leadership about how important this was, and they immediately saw the value, the rewards that they would get, the connections they would make, and how they could do their jobs better. So kudos to those frontline team members, but kudos to you too for making it so exciting and right from the beginning.
And to that point, though, I will say, I think one of the great things about the platform and the way we approached it is that we really aim to make it a personal experience. So I was in constant contact with climbers everywhere. Whoever was playing the platform, they sent us an email. I was personally responding. My team was personally responding. And we took that really seriously because we wanted to make sure that they had a point of contact with us. And it wasn't just another application being put out there.
That's huge. We always say this when we start with new customers, that you get out of it what you put into it. And you've put a lot into it, and it shows in the results. Natasha, you were going to add something there too?
Yeah, I was just going to add, I think Dan, as our Climb cheerleader, I think it's all about connection, right? And I think, the team has done such a fantastic job of building connection, not only sort of with the corporate office here in Atlanta, but with our, thousands of hotels around the country, but also with each other on property. That Climb Crown, again, is another way that they're driving connection and engagement at the hotel, but then also with one another. We're kind of creating these communities and competitions of hotels and in local areas. And we love kind of seeing that friendly competition and the benefit of the performance that it also drives as well.
That's fantastic. I should add here that you get huge marks for your branding of this. IHG Climb is a great name for the Centrical platform that you've implemented. So fantastic. Can you tell me a little bit more about how you brought this strategy to life?
So the biggest part of this was the KPIs and the leaderboards that we were able to bring those KPIs to life. With loyalty, recognition, and enrollment efficiency, those were views that only the hotel had about themselves. They didn't have the context of where their performance sat in the midst of, their competitors or sister hotels down the street. And so we were able to bring that to life within the platform. So now all of our Crown Plazas know exactly where they sit in the leaderboard in comparison to each other. And we frankly brought out the rivalry in hotels. And so, it was great to see them compete with each other to raise their loyalty recognition scores and enrollment efficiency scores. So I think the KPIs and putting them into a leaderboard position was really one of the key things that unlocked everything. And then, of course, with the missions and the learnings, IHG has so much out there. As former GM, I know there is so much out there, and it can be hard to wrap your head around, especially if you're trying to then bring that to your hotel team members. And so with those missions and learnings, it was important for us to break them down into bite-sized pieces and connect them to already available resources that we've already worked so hard on throughout the company, but when they needed them. So if we're talking about loyalty recognition, we break it down into little pieces through the check-in process, the checkout process, and how and what tools do IHG have to support that. And so that was a huge undertaking all in of itself, especially adding in all the translations on top of that. But that also meant that we got to expand our reach beyond just the US and Canada. We also got to get to Quebec and Mexico and Brazil. And then I thought the kudos was a really important aspect of the game because it brought a sense of community, not just with the hotel team members and being able to support each other through the kudos feature, but also supporting other hotels and being able to give that kudos to another hotel that may have eked it out in the last second of the leaderboard, but we're going to get you next time. I loved that feature, and I really thought that brought a sense of community to it. And then also the coaching aspect, it was a way of enabling the team leaders who are not just GMs to drive forward performance within IHG Climb. Again, most of the time we're always relying on GMs, but now we're giving the tools and ability to our front office managers, sometimes their front office supervisors, director of operations, to do that within the platform through the coaching feature. And then last, I thought the virtual store was one of the big key aspects of this, because while IHG One Rewards is great for our guests, that's super important. We also have to remember that our internal guests, our hotel colleagues, they use the program, and it can and should be a loyalty program for them. And so through Climb coins attached to missions and challenges and levels, we were able to demonstrate in little bite-sized pieces the benefits of IHG One Rewards for them. They get to stay in our hotels, they get to earn points, they get to earn status. And that's important for them to know, not just for the guests, but for their own benefit. And frankly, why they should be loyal to IHG and continue to stay at our hotels and be a part of our hotel teams. So the virtual store, I think, really helped unlock the potential of IHG One Rewards for our hotel team members.
That's great.
Yeah, I'll build on that. I think it's like a perfect win-win, right? They're learning about IHG One Rewards and how to deliver it to our guests. And at the same time, while they're learning about that, they're earning coins and IHG One Rewards points that they can use for stays, for redemption on our virtual store. So it's like perfect blend of a kind of a win-win situation. And then I just want to highlight the team that was kind of behind this initiative as well. Obviously, Dan, our Climb cheerleader, led the charge, but worked with a very agile, cross-functional team across our operations team members, as well as loyalty, technology, our comms team. I mean, it was a great sort of partnership of all of us coming together in kind of addition to our day jobs, and really bringing this to life and kind of pouring all of the passion and energy into a really unique and innovative solution to solve a challenging problem that we had been facing. So I just want to give a quick shout out to the team that's been working really, really hard over the past year to bring this to life.
Yeah, I know the team has really been committed. The both of you, Sean, Genevieve, Greg, the whole team. So congratulations. I love how you've embraced all of the pillars of Centrical, the kudos, the coaching, the bite-sized content, the rewards, and of course, the healthy competition never hurt anyone either. So really, really well done.
Honestly, there's so much there still to open up and keep building on. So that's what I'm super excited for the future, is just keep going with this and keep finding new ways to bring it in the hotels, because you're right, we have used every feature, but we haven't used it to its fullest potential yet, which is what I love about the platform.
Totally. And we're always introducing new features for you to use too. So
Yeah.
the future is bright. So all of this is exciting, but the big question everyone wants to know is, how did you measure success? How did you know what good looked like and how well you did?
Yeah, so we set out a few key success metrics. First off, I think we were just going to measure adoption and usage of the platform. And honestly, we kind of set what we thought was an ambitious goal that I think within the first month was blown out of the water, which was really exciting. But of course, it's great to see adoption and usage of the platform. But at the end of the day, are we actually going to be driving performance? And as I mentioned earlier, kind of the two key metrics that we were measuring were around loyalty recognition and enrollment efficiency. And that was measuring, are our hotel and team members delivering the IHG One Rewards program consistently on property? And honestly, overnight almost, we saw sort of a hockey stick of performance uplift across those metrics. As I mentioned, we had relaunched the program back in 2022, and we were kind of still trying to make sure that it was being consistently executed. To sort of see that immediate results and improvement was really, really exciting. And over the past year, we've just continued to see those numbers climb, pun intended, and see the engagement and usage, both from an adoption, but also from a metrics perspective, which is just really exciting.
Got it. Can you talk a little bit in terms of broad terms, in terms of the impact on performance that you've seen?
Yeah. I mean, I think for some of our metrics, for users that are highly engaged in IHG Climb, we're seeing up to 4x the time of improvement in these metrics than those that are not engaged. So it's something that we're really, really excited about, and continuing to see how we can then leverage this platform beyond just loyalty, but for the broader guest experience and for our revenue performance as well.
Great. Fantastic. That's good. Looking ahead, what additional goals and objectives are you aiming to achieve? And you've touched a little bit about different groups, but let's go a little deeper on that.
So we have already started to expand the platform with a pilot into our EMEA region, which is Europe, Middle East, Australia. And so we're already piloting the loyalty platform with 300 hotels within that region. We also just recently launched IHG Climb for sales for all of our sales colleagues within the US and Canada and Mexico, Brazil. And so both of those have been really exciting to just see the quick expansion of what we've already done. But of course, when you do one of the most exciting things that IHG has done, we are the topic of conversation for every team. So we are in constant communication with other partners throughout the business, with our F&B partners, our housekeeping partners. It's always a conversation of how can we bring in other aspects of the hotel life into this platform. And in 2025, we're going to revamp the current platform and rearrange the content, add in new content, but also importantly, adding in new KPIs as well. Like Natasha talked about, we're going to talk about the overall guest experience, talk about problem handling and problems experience. Like we're really going to bring in a more holistic view of the guest experience into the platform so that we can move every metric and not just focus on loyalty, which I expect that will continue to improve from here.
Fantastic. Anything else you want to add, Natasha?
I mean, I think I would just say it's been really exciting to see how we really can work across the business to understand what are the challenges and opportunities that they're trying to communicate to our frontline colleagues, and find ways that we can leverage IHG Climb to kind of bring that to life. And honestly, the opportunities are endless. Every year at IHG, we have a whole month dedicated to giving back to our local communities because our hotels are at the heart of our communities. And so we make a conscious effort to make sure that our hotels and our IHG corporate colleagues are engaged in the communities. And so this year, we actually leveraged IHG Climb to encourage hotel teams to understand a little bit more about what Giving for Good Month is all about, to log their activity so that we could track to see how many lives that we're impacting as it's part of our Journey for Tomorrow initiative. And to be able to see some of the engagement that our frontline colleagues have with the organizations that IHG partners with, and hear about how these organizations have impacted them, in their upbringing and their lives. And now for them to have a way to connect and communicate with those organizations was just really fulfilling. So it's been incredible to see the impact beyond, of IHG Climb, beyond just loyalty, but really more broadly about all of our, company's priorities, and, using it as a really powerful tool to connect and communicate to our frontline colleagues.
That is so exciting. I wasn't aware of that you were using it for that reason, but it is so hopeful, and you guys have been so creative. Dan, you've made my day with the whole. This is one of the most exciting things that IHG has ever done. So
that's a quote from one of our frontline colleagues too. I think we've actually heard it a few times from our frontline colleagues, which is awesome.
That is wonderful. Well, I think that is a perfect note to end on. I want to thank Natasha Scott and Dan Heagney for sharing your journey and experience with us. Again, congratulations on the Innovator Award. So well deserved for IHG. It's been inspiring to hear how you're pushing boundaries and conquering goals and coming up with new creative ways to improve upon the already fantastic results you're getting with IHG Climb. Thank you for submitting an award submission, and congratulations on the win.
Well, thank you, Madeline, and the entire Centrical team for an amazing partnership. It's been an absolute pleasure working with you and the team to bring this idea to life, and we're really excited about the future opportunities that we'll have to continue to grow this platform.
As are we. All right. Thank you both very much.
Great.
Thank you.